All this while since last year, COVID times till now, people would have expected that, yes, periodically we see Uncle Ebo Whyte putting together some stage plays for us to come and then enjoy ourselves with them. But from last year till now, because of COVID, things have slowed down a bit. What's your whole assessment of this situation that we have on our hands now?
Things did not slow down. Things stopped. When you say it slowed down, it's almost as if we were doing a quarterly show. So if we were doing every 6 months, then that is slow down. But things stopped. The pandemic and the protocols that were put in place ensured that my business was stopped. It's as simple as that. There was nothing to do.
So is it right to say Uncle Ebo Whyte has lost some amount of money or investment in this venture because of COVID?
Not just me. We employ 120 people every quarter. So all those guys, there was nothing to do.
Wow. So does it mean while you guys have been, let's say, quote unquote, dormant for this time, you've not been doing anything at all, not putting together any productions at all for all this while?
No, productions, no, because that would have gone against the law. We've tried to do other things that are not related to what our core business is. But as long as our core business is concerned, nada.
Well, in December, I remember you put up some shows.
Yeah, the festival.
Yeah, the festival.
Yeah.
Did you take up to capacity, the usual capacity, or because of COVID, you kind of slashed it by a certain percentage?
By 50%.
50%?
Yes.
And were you able to make returns? Did you get anything out of it?
If even 100% you struggle with it, then 50%, no, we didn't.
And was it worth doing it, considering the fact that there are so much involved, or you need to invest in it, pay for this, pay for that, pay for all the people that you employ for the place? Mm-hmm. Why did you, in the first place, decide to put it up if you think it wasn't worth it?
Well, a drowning man clutches at a straw, doesn't he? We had been banned from operating up to that point for almost 9 months. No, 9 months, 10 months. Up to that point. And so when this opportunity came, okay, can we do something? Let's do something. Oh, you can't have full capacity because of social distancing. There must be spaces between the church. Okay, it's better than nothing. Let's go and do it. And well, we are happy it kept us busy, but financial-wise, it was a disaster.
Wow. So when you held that particular festival, what were some of the measures that you were made to go through, some of the guidelines that you were made to go through during that time? Were you given specific protocols to follow, and how convenient or otherwise were these?
The protocols were clear. You insist on nose mask for everybody who comes in. You insist that they wash their hands and sanitize them. So we had the Veronica Bacchus at all the entrances. We had sanitizers and things there. People were engaged to ensure that that is done. People could not sit together unless they came as family. If you came with family, the assumption is that if you would infect each other, you would have infected from the house. So if they came as family, they stayed together. But the next seat to them was left open. So those were the guidelines. My ushers, my people were in mask right through, both within the hall, outside the hall, backstage, and everything. Sanitizers were all over the place, and washing of hands fully insisted upon.
So these protocols, those that were given to you by a certain body or institution, or you decided to put them in place yourself?
I think the the government had already rolled out certain protocols, and we just followed them. We followed them, but you see, we are more concerned about our patrons than anybody else. So we also went much further, especially explaining to them, letting them understand the significance of the measures and why they had to go by them. We even went to the extent of getting everybody who came in sanitizers that they could take away, not just use in the place, but they could take away and use. Because these are our patrons, and our business decided that if even one person went away and reported that I got infected when I went to watch Ebo Whyte play, that would be a disaster for the whole brand. And so we were very particularly careful that nobody would be infected or be put at risk in any way.
Would you mind replicating the same model that you used for the December festivals? Would you mind replicating this same model moving forward if you were given the green light to hold any concerts or any play?
Oh, willingly, because much as we would like to fill the theater, we would also want to do that safely. We would like to protect lives as much as possible. We would like to protect the future as much as possible. We know that this pandemic, sooner or later, will go. The important thing is that by the time it's gone, who will be left? And that is where we have to, all of us, engage all our energies to ensuring that by the time the pandemic goes, we will still be alive and be able to pick up the pieces where we left off. Because as far as I'm concerned, even one loss of life to this pandemic is one life too many lost. And it's not good enough. So yes, we would willingly and happily do that. I do not think that any agency can come up with protocols that would be more effective than what we would implement, because we are looking at the lives of our patrons. And don't forget that we are there with them. So if they are at risk, we are also at risk. I am at risk, and my team. And so our stake in ensuring safety, ensuring the health of those who patronize our shows is of the highest level. We don't compromise on that.
How long, on average, do your stage plays take, like a single play, a session?
The longest is 2 hours.
The longest is
The
2 hours.
1 hour 45 minutes, but to 2 hours.
Oh, okay, okay. And so basically, this is a very big situation in the hands of most entertainment people, and I've heard a lot of people call on the powers that be to ease restrictions. Musicians have done that. People from the cinema side, people from the theater side, have done that as well. And we've actually heard then in the news that the GTA, for example, has eased the restrictions. I don't know if you've heard anything about that, and if you want to comment on that.
I have heard about it. I think we heard something on Friday. Was it Friday or Thursday about this? At that point, we called around to try to get confirmation. We didn't quite get the kind of confirmation we needed. But just before this interview, I was giving the guidelines. The guidelines. I'm yet to study that. And so for now, I know it exists. I know it is there. We'll study them and see how best we could either work with them or work with the powers that be, as you said, to improve it. If it is not practical, we would make our input and we'll make suggestions and make it, because you see, you've got to understand that we are all on the same team. The powers that be it the government, be it GTA, we and us and every other, we are all on the same team. What we are doing is for Ghana. What we do brings stability to the nation. It enhances the welfare of Ghanaians, which is the goal of government and everybody else. So really, we are on the same team. And as people on the same team, if need be, we will make the inputs we need to make to ensure that the rollout will be as effective as possible. Note, with the end being the safety and well-being of our people, of Ghanaians. That is the goal as far as we are concerned.
Okay, and I understand the fact that you don't want to pass any commentary on the guidelines as of now, but what do you envisage to be your perfect model of how the theater must run at this moment, in this period? Your perfect model of how it should operate at this moment, barring any guidelines or whatsoever from anybody, any GTA, any institution. What do you think that model should be?
I think that the model we adopted for the festivals in December were perfect. They were excellent. Remember, those were the days when the infection rates were also dicey and climbing. And yet, there wasn't even one case from our place. So we know we have tested something. And so we'll compare what we did with what the guidelines say, and then